So the first city is called Luque. So that's my first two areas were Jukudu and Molino, and they were both in Luque. So Luque is kind of like that central town. Honestly, I think it's the busiest. It has almost everyone always going into it. Luque is really big. It has two stakes in it in the Luque city, and so there's a lot of people. There's a lot of motion. So the outside towns are really small. So Jukuru itself was like a really outskirt type thing. It was very more poor than when you actually came into Luque, where there was a lot more market. So what a lot of the members and that I came to know did was they lived in Jukuru, but they would go like sell brooms, or they would sell cleaning products. They would sell hats, things that they would make and take like a 10-minute bus ride into Luque Center itself and just sit out and sell them. And the people who kind of worked in, let's say, a more fancier job would be working at the supermarkets there. So Luque is kind of like where all the supermarkets are, where the marketplace is to buy like electronics, cleaning supplies, brooms, toys, kind of all that. There's also, that's where all the Cebers are, which is all the computer places. So you see a lot of missionaries there on Monday. It has three mission zones in it. So it's a very popular place for missionaries to be in. Molino was actually on the south side of Luque. So it was closer to a different city, but it was still south of Luque. So Molino was a little bit nicer in that aspect. So Jukudu it was dirt, it was rocks, it was a lot of small houses, a lot of houses that were built by the people themselves. So they were like by wooden planks or pieces of wood, plastic wrap. Molino was a little bit more nicer. Like they were all material houses. I remember that's what made it a bit harder because all the people who lived there kind of either worked in Asuncion because they were like a 15-minute bus ride into Asuncion, or they worked in San Lorenzo, which was another like 20-minute bus ride to the other side of Luque. So there were a lot nicer houses. They all had doorbells, so that was really new for me going from first to second area. They had a little bit more sidewalk. They had a lot of something that's called empedrado, which is cobblestone, but not like the nice shaped cobblestones, like all the rocks are still standing out. So, but that's technically nicer in Paraguay. That means it's nice. So Molino was a lot different, even though it was in the same city of Luque, because of how south it was. So it was closer to Asuncion. The airport is also in Luque, so there's a lot of transit. There's a lot of buses. If you're in Luque and you want to go anywhere, you basically can, because there's a bus that'll take you anywhere. So it was really easy for travel. So I think that's why a lot of the other members actually would go into Luque always. Like if they had to go to the hospital, they'd always go through Luque first and then go to whichever one they needed. If they had to go to school, if they had anything, any family related things, it's always like Luque first, and then that's where all like the buses are that go to all the other cities. Luque is known for its guitars. So a lot of the cities have like a major thing that they make, and for Luque it's guitars. So you'll find guitar shops everywhere, and they're supposedly the nicest. So they have a lot of guitars, a lot of harps. They have a lot of that like instruments, and a lot of like they're made by the people there. So that's actually a really interesting fact about Luque, is that that's like the main thing there. It's guitars.